Now, moving on, Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister Heng said the government will extend the enhanced training support package. It was previously enhanced in the resilience budget, and this time the package will be extended for another 6 months.
I'll extend the ETSP for another 6 months until 30th June 2021 to provide enhanced cost fee subsidies for firms in our hardest hit sectors. I will extend the ETSP to the marine and offshore sector from today, on top of the existing sectors such as air transport, retail and tourism. In recognition of the gradually recovering economic situation, we'll also be lowering the absentee payroll rates to 80% from January 2021, capped at $7.50 per hour.
Now, further enhancement to support schemes will be made to help firms both in hard-hit sectors. For instance, DPM Heng also announced the extension of the temporary bridging loan program for 6 months until September 2021 at reduced levels. The program is aimed at helping local companies manage their immediate cash flow needs.
Other measures are also being put in place and extended for firms that are growing. The higher tier of wage support at 50% under the Jobs Growth Incentive Scheme will be provided to firms who hire people with disabilities between September 2020 to February 2021.
Now, several grants and programs like the Market Readiness Assistance Grant, Productivity Solutions Grant and Enterprise Development Grant will also be enhanced to enable firms to tap new sources of growth.
In addition, the Monetary Authority of Singapore will also extend the MAS Support Dollar Facility for Enterprise Singapore loans until September 2021.
Now, DPM Heng also announced more support for newborns. This one-off support measure comes on top of the baby bonus cash gift, which provides eligible parents up to $10,000 in benefits.
We've received feedback that COVID-19 has caused some aspiring parents to postpone their parenthood plans. This is fully understandable, especially when they face uncertainty with their income. Hence, to help with expenses during this period, we'll introduce a one-off additional support for newborns. This will be on top of the baby bonus cash gift, which provides eligible parents up to $10,000 in benefits. Minister Indrani will share more details on the additional support soon.
Let's bring in Singapore editor Zakir Hussain again. Zakir, Mr. Heng spoke at length in Parliament today, giving an update on Singapore's progress in our fight against COVID-19. Now, what stood out for you?
I think a couple of things did stand out. One was I think the newborn extra cash support came as a bit of a surprise. We had expected, there'd be no new measures. And in a sense, this was more perhaps an extension of some of the support measures like the bridging loan and all that have come about. The other thing was, I think the marine and offshore sectors are also feeling the brunt of the pandemic and the crisis. And I think it's good that, it's a key sector for the Singapore economy. And I think it's good that they get the same level of enhanced support that those affected workers in aviation and tourism already do.
Zakir, Mr. Heng also revealed that a $100 billion, the $100 billion figure, and he also mentioned that the latest support measures will not draw from past reserves anymore. Could you elaborate on that?
Yeah. So I think the $100 billion did come about, and that was the total amount that Singapore's devoted to the pandemic since it's started earlier this year. The estimate is that it saved about 155,000 jobs through the job support scheme, possibly more. And I think a lot more is being done to ensure that some of these workers, I think, get the training and support and skills upgrades they need to stay competitive. I think the other point that really Minister elaborated on was this sort of three broad strategies to keep the economy vibrant for the next 5 to 10 years. And I think it's worth underlining. The first is to position Singapore as a strong, what he called the global Asia node of technology, innovation and enterprise, where we sort of strengthen our regional supply links, and at the same time, also look at, fostering inclusive growth. So in a way, making sure that all workers get the skills and support they need, but that also, just like the extension of the Jobs Growth Initiative to include persons with disabilities, to ensure that, we take measures and steps to ensure that we stay inclusive. And I think the last of the three-pronged strategies is really this investment in resilience and sustainability. So this include, ramping up our plans to produce more food locally, and at the same time to look at areas like green growth, renewable energy, and sustainability.
And Zakir, are these approaches new? Would you consider them new?
I think they're not entirely new, but I think the way, coming at this point in 6 months after the crisis hit us, and at a time when, questions might be asked about what plans we have for the future, I think DPM Heng underlined that, look, we've had these plans in place. They build on what's been suggested and proposed before, but this might be a time for us to relook and revisit this, and maybe see how, some of the measures and plans we're putting out in the next few months could better strengthen some of these arms. So for instance, if you talk about ensuring resilient supply chains, right? And then one way to do that might be to relook our, say, free trade agreements and make sure that, we've got, these include areas like the digital economy. Similarly, for inclusive growth, making sure that persons with disabilities and people who might not normally be in the workforce or find it difficult to travel for work, we look at finding ways to make sure that they get matched and supported by the job, with jobs and with training as well.
Well, thank you, Zakir, for coming on the show. We've been speaking to Singapore editor at the Straits Times, Zakir Hussain. Now catch up on today's Parliament proceedings at straitstimes.com.